So firstly, thanks to our SAP and a lot of the partners we work with. I think without Jay, Sharath, where is Sharath? He was the one who actually started us on the solution manager journey. Rajiv, we would not have got it. So thanks to the core team for working with us, innovating with us, hearing out our scripts. I know you heard a lot of our scripts, so thanks a lot for that. Solution Manager in Unilever is something we started in 2013. So we had been working with it in country instances nearly from 2008, 7, 8. Mainly for ITSM and charm functionalities, but we decided to set up a global solution manager sometime in 2013 to expand the scope into a lot of monitoring, which we felt was something which we were not doing, given the scale of what we are doing. So we are primarily an FMCG company, so we produce all the soaps and soups, as our former CFO used to say. So Lux, Hamam, Nor, Kisan, these are all some of the brands which we have in India. We operate in nearly about, I think about 180 countries or so, selling and distributing products. So we have manufacturing, we have logistics, and we have distribution centers. We primarily sell to the stockists and they sell to their outlets. So obviously our motto is, kind of making an impact in life of every individual, and that's what we kind of strive to achieve. From an IT landscape perspective, we have over, so we have a lot of systems for different purposes, some for digital, some for marketing, some for R&D, some for reporting, but where we primarily focus on, or where my interests lie, are primarily in large enterprise level applications. So for the core transactions of supply chain finance, order to cash, we have nearly about 150 odd applications across the geography, because we have about 4 regions. We have Americas, Europe, rest of Asia, Africa, Australia, and we have India, Sri Lanka. So we have all these regions, and we have a lot of SAP applications and a lot of non-SAP applications to support our business processes. So what we do, so IT in Unilever, what we primarily do is trying to see how can we drive a competitive advantage, either in a business-facing role to our business, making a difference, or even within IT, how can we kind of improve our operations and do better than what we are doing, drive cost, efficiency in our regular operations, drive resilience to ensure systems remain up. Innovating, so we constantly try to innovate, stay ahead of the curve. Partnering with our business, with our customers, is basically our business teams and their customers, to see what we can do better. So this is just an example of the landscape which we have. Like I said, four primary landscapes: Americas, Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Indian subcontinent. And we have a lot of global systems, for example, transportation management or supplier relationship management. So we have a lot of global landscapes as well. And we have all the business processes mapped out within all these different applications. What we have as a solution manager strategy is, when we started off, we had about 6 solution managers. We had about 1 for each region, plus a couple of extra here and there. Today, we have consolidated at least 3 of them. So we have migrated functionality from 3 of the solution managers into the global solution manager. And our end architecture is going to be, having maybe 1 or 2 at the most solution managers. So that's what we are intending to do. And we do both innovation and operations on the global solution manager, as we call it. So what does this actually entail? So from a ALM perspective, we have HP for the testing practices, we have Jira for the agile projects, and we have Solution Manager at the heart of everything we do. We also have a few Tableau reports, and our business processes are modeled with Eris. And all these tools are kind of integrated with each other. So you have the business process from Eris flowing into Solution Manager. We have Jira requests. Currently, it's not integrated, but at 7.2, we will integrate that capability as well. And for testing, we have Taos scripting integrating with HP ALM. So in the operations part, what we do is we have CCLM implemented. So we have CCLM, we have ATC, the ABAP test cockpit, and we use these to monitor. So CCLM to drive down and delete customizations which we have. And over the last few years, we've actually deleted a significant, actually it runs in thousands of unused custom code across our platforms. With ATC, what we have is, we have defined over 450 rules in the ATC, and every custom code that we deliver kind of runs through these rules, ensures it's compliant, rules from a security, performance, as well as a general coding standard, and then that it moves to production. Upgrade management, this is something which we started early this year. There's a tool called SIA, Scope and Effort Analyzer. We have piloted it with 2 of the applications, with SAP CRM and one of our ECC instances to see how the capability is. And now what we're planning is every upgrade that we do, at least for SAP landscapes, we're planning to use SIA to do the entire scope and impact analyzer. So traditionally, for ECCs, we used to use Panaya. This is something which is free, it is cheaper, it provides the same functionality, and it has got a much better reach than Panaya, which is why this is a tool which we are considering for a lot of the upgrades going forward. Landscape management with LMDB and core landscape processes. User experience monitoring with Solution Manager EEM. End user monitoring is something which we have done with select applications as and when a requirement comes up. Interface monitoring. So this was a huge business case for us. We have about 5 integration platforms. So we had to consolidate. We have 5 teams governing them. We had to consolidate the entire integration into one platform, one central team. It was a big case, and we managed to do it with Solution Manager interface monitoring. And when we started off in last year, there was no central dashboarding capability available on integration. So this is something which we co-innovated with SAP. So there's a gentleman called Venkatesh. Where is he? Yeah. So he is the one who delivered this dashboarding capability for us. And to my shock, when I went to Sapphire this time, I saw the same dashboard which we have in our OCC screens. I said, how did it even come up? Is it standard? So that was something which, was just a surprise for me when I went to Sapphire this year. Business process monitoring, we are monitoring about I would say about 1,500, 2,000 business processes, because it's across so many different systems. So we monitor a lot of our core processes in order to cash and supply chain and month-end closing, month-end financials, so that we can track if it's done, not done. We use cross-database comparison for ruling out inconsistencies between tables like ML, or MMSD. So we use all such capabilities. Technical monitoring, so we have connected about 200 systems for technical monitoring. We have about 53 basis kind of KPIs which we are using to monitor all these different systems. So, and we are kind of ramping up this entire capability. Now, on the innovation side, what we have done is we kind of defined what our global project methodology will be like. This was something which was not existing, something which we felt we needed to have so that all projects in Unilever would follow the same process. So we defined what the process would be like, and we use Solution Manager template project approach to kind of define it in Solution Manager. We set up the deliverables on each stage, what are the kind of deliverables, who's responsible, put a RASI. We developed entire dashboarding reporting so that we can do project governance from it. And today, I think we have about 200 plus projects in any year going through this. And 200, that's just a starting. I think I'm going to count conservative number. So we have 200 plus projects at any point of time going through this entire approach. Documentation management, again, a central repository of documentation. So we have a lot of our processes documented in Solution Manager, stored in Solution Manager. And with the 7.2 capability of having it tightly integrated, this is something we are really looking forward for so that we can have a tighter integration, tighter control over the documentation process. Project reporting, we delivered a lot of reports on Tableau, on customized some reports on Solution Manager so that we could come up with the overall project status, project review, and we could review as per that. Test management, we are using HP Tau. This year, we have also started using BPCA. So we have kind of started creating the T-bombs for all the production. So any TR which kind of moves to production, we are planning to use first BPCA, identify what are the objects impacted, ensure testing is covered, and then move it to production. So that's something which we are in the ramp-up mode this year. Charm is something, again, we have charm existing in all our landscapes, but they are in their own different versions. What we have been doing for the last 1 year is coming up with a global charm process and re-engineering all the local charms to come up and align with the global charm process, linking it with the TMS so that we have one integrated place where you do change management and transport management. So that's in short on what we are doing. This is something like our roadmap. So like I said, 2012, 2013 is when we started. 2014, 15 was a lot of the capabilities we started setting up as base. And 2017 plus is something where each of the areas we've identified, so initiatives of this year, initiatives of next year on what we need to do to ramp up this entire area. So this is how our roadmap for the next 2 years looks like. So you want to take over? All right. So I'll just hand over to Balaji for the documentation and project management.
Thank you, Samantha. Thank you, colleagues. To begin with, big thank you to SAP for supporting us and being there with us for the entire journey. And like they say, the athlete's ability is, improved by the coach, and SAP has been such a good coach for us. The fact that both our offices are almost close by also helps us. Most of the days, they either come up to our office, spend the day, or we prefer going to their office. We spend the day. The reason being very simple. The lunch in SAP is much better than what we get in our office. So we keep going there most of the times. So coming back to solution manager, I would love to draw an analogy before going into the documentation. Governments have ministries or departments for every department. They had education department, defense department, whatever, planning department. But off late, for the last 10 years, every government started coming with a department, with the IT department, because that's a new trend that's coming up, where they sort of put control over what people can access, what people cannot access. Similarly, what has happened within our organization is SAP Solution Manager grew in significance in the last 2 years. Now, anywhere, any system, anything goes wrong, irrespective of whether it's an issue of solution manager or not, we are one of the first people to call them. Now, we start the investigation to begin with what went wrong, and then thereby our significance and importance within the organization has actually really grown up. And this is not a surprise. Looking at the capabilities of solution manager, this is the direction every organization will tend to go. This is sort of the precursor to what is in store for us for the next few years. You will identify that in the next few years, solution manager's significance in each and every organization, its importance in the SAP landscape has significantly improved, that the entire monitoring, controlling, and the compliance and guidance of the SAP landscape falls within the remit of solution manager. So that's what we think, and that's the journey that we have taken up with SAP. Let's move forward. Talking about the innovation project documentation, we have a very defined project methodology, and then we also have a documentation management strategy. Coupled with the project methodology, we are able to upload all the life cycle documents of the business processes. Not only that, the project documents itself, they are uploaded into the solution manager, so that at the time of the audit, it becomes an easy task for the auditors to sort of reach out to the documents from a single source and thereby verify the compliance and audit of the system. So this has been done in most of our landscape. We are in the process of rolling this out to a few other landscapes, and pretty soon we will be live with all the landscapes. Where is that? Oh, thank you. Talking about the charm, like Sunanda already mentioned, we have a very disparate landscape and lots of application with its own set of challenges. So ideally, yes, there should be one charm project or one charm solution trying to cater to the need of all the different landscape. But then we being, Unilever, where our challenges multifold, we wanted to take a, safety first approach, wherein which we have decided, no, there's no point in being, mindlessly global. At the same time, we should not be hopelessly local. We should find a balance by which we are able to sustain the landscape's complexity, understand their complexity, sustain their operations, at the same time roll out a charm solution. So in line with this principle, we sort of rolled out three different versions of charm, trying to cater to all the landscapes. The idea is that we will harmonize and globalize this into one version of charm in the near future. But right now, this is where we are, and we are I would say 30, 40, and 30 is the distribution in which we are slowly trying to get all the landscapes into a single charm design. Moving forward, I'll take that. Thank you. Yeah, OCC.
On OCC, what we have, like I said, is the entire interface monitoring. We have a central reporting, dashboarding for all interfaces, as well as for all technical monitoring. Most of it is alert-based, because obviously it's not possible to see so many screens. A lot of it is alert-based, comes to your inbox, and then you have teams taking respective actions on it. We have technical monitoring, which is basically basis kind of KPIs, infrastructure like KPIs, and the business process monitoring across all these different business processes. What we have started doing this year is trying to scale up to the non-SAP systems. So, we have linked now to OTM for the business process monitoring to see what are the kind of business process documents which are flowing across ECC, PI, and OTM. We have start going to non-SAP SQL-based applications for doing actual interface, not interface, the technical monitoring, DB, KPI, resources, CPU, etc., etc. So that kind of monitoring, now we have slowly started going to the non-SAP applications as well. We have end user monitoring live for 5 or 6 applications, including some Tableau dashboards. We had a scenario where our MC actually said, if they use the dashboard from Bombay, it was much lower than what it was in Bangalore. And people could not crack on exactly where the issue was. So we used EEM to figure out how the response time is, and then figure out exactly where the problem was. A lot of apps basis KPIs. And so if you look at the value of OCC, one is, yes, efficiency, which comes in with the kind of automations which you bring in. You would have had a team of people kind of monitoring the systems. Now you can just have it through system and alert based. Another benefit is the entire resilience. You are able to catch incidents which primarily you would have got a call from the end user saying, my application is down. So we have had cases where we have kind of caught potential P1s, which is basically production down or near production down kind of scenarios, proactively resolve them and actually stop them from happening. So that much of downtime is something which we have saved for the business. So these would be the two primary value drivers which any OCC setup would then give. The business process change analyzer and scope and effort analyzer are initiatives which we started somewhere towards the end of last year, early this year. The intent of doing this, so that the business process, both of them is basically identify the impact before it happens, strategize the testing for the release, either an upgrade release or a project release. Structure the test plan as per that, drive efficiency, and ensure a safe release to production. So that is the impact, that is the idea with which we are currently doing it. So our regression, so for all our environments, we have regression scripts. We have QTP. So we have a Tau QTP scenario, and we have a lot of QTP scripts. Most of our processes are automated nearly about 60 to 80%, depending upon which region it is. And what we are now doing is doing the entire BPCA. So we are halfway through for one of our platforms, building the entire BPCA in Solution Manager, and by the end of the year, early next year, we plan to complete all of it, which will help us, one, ensure that we are testing the right areas, reduce our overall time for testing. Now today, if it's taking 4 days to test, now at least I'll be able to crash down the entire testing to about 2 days. More importantly, it will help me identify the white spaces. So for example, I might have test scripts for 100 scenarios. There might be another 10 scenarios for which I'm doing changes which are not being captured in any of my testing. It helps me identify those white spaces, build it back in for a much more comprehensive testing suite. So these are some of the advantages of having such a capability in. With scope and effort analyzer, it is on impact analysis. So when I do an upgrade, what is exactly breaking? It gives a view on what is exactly breaking so that we can structure the upgrade testing as per what is breaking. So these are all the different differentiators, and I think most of it is something which I have covered on how we can have fast and efficient change process meeting. In fact, when we rolled out the charm process, we cut down one entire meeting because people started doing it online. So the people used to raise requests and review requests online, something which used to happen with meetings earlier. So one entire meeting kind of got cut down. So it helps you do things much more efficiently. Clear split of responsibilities between what business has to do, what IT has to do, the entire harmonization. So that is something which we are doing, harmonizing the entire language, process, and framework across all the business units. So we definitely plan to do 7.2, and by end of this year, we'll have a roadmap on exactly what does it take for us to do 7.2, because there are a lot of capabilities in 7.2 which we actually want, and we have kind of stopped customization. Things on, having the focused build, having the dashboarding and reporting capability, where today we are custom creating our dashboards. The Air is Jira integration. So we are having more and more projects on Jira for Agile. How can we integrate the two and have one way of working? So these are some of the capabilities which we are kind of looking forward to in 7.2, and that is something we'll definitely do by next year. So some of our customers, internal customers' feedback, obviously they're happy, and these days something goes wrong on Solution Manager, we kind of get the first call saying that what is wrong. So it's good to actually have something like that, and I think that's about it. So any questions I'm willing to take.